In this video, we are doing a first impressions of these, the 1080 version 12 Permafrost. What is up, everybody, and welcome to 40 Runs and Winter HQ. It's nice and toasty in here. We've got the heat. No, we haven't, because it's too expensive to put the heating on. Let me know, have you turned your heating on? Are you wearing base layers around the house to stay warm? Let me know in the comments. Now we're back with another winterized running shoe. Yes, we've got this shoe from New Balance coming. It's the 1080 version 12. Give you some feedback. I absolutely love 1080 version 12, which was just an incredible shoe earlier on in the year when that version came out. I loved it. Took you through a marathon training block, and then when I saw that there was a winterized version coming out with winter marathon training upon us, I grabbed them very quickly. Okay, so let's do a few little stats and features, because basically it's still a 1080 version 12. I think the biggest thing here is the additional winterizedness of it. So let's talk about the upper. We've got a, now hang on, I'm going to get this wrong, so let's just make sure I get this right so I don't get shot. DWR water repellent treated upper. I've got absolutely no idea what DWR stands for. We've also got this hydrohesion rubber outsole. So it's basically an uprated outsole, which is good news because the blow rubber on the original 1080s is questionable. So and I can, you know, say to you now, because we've been running it out in the really horrible stuff, that this is a good upgrade in terms of the outsole, but it has added weight. I think it's about an ounce from memory in terms. I should have done this before, sorry about this. Yeah, the shoe's about an ounce heavier. It's 11.5 ounces, this shoe. But going back to the weatherised, winterised stuff, we've got reflective elements on the shoe, which is great news. I think that's really important. It's one of the reasons why I look for winter shoes, because I'm running home, I want stuff that's got reflective stuff on it. We've also got the introduction of this. So they've got rid of laces. Now, New Balance claim this is so you can put the shoe on with gloves on, tighten it up with your gloves on, which makes sense. And I was out there running along in that B-roll actually. Did you see the bit? No, maybe I put the B-roll up now, but I'm in gloves. That's my point. So that's what that's all about. But effectively, the rest of the shoe is still the same. But we've got these weatherized elements to the shoe, the improved outsole. We've still got Fresh FoamX, which I'll come on to in a minute. That's about it. Now, the shoe's still 165 quid, which I think is outrageous in terms of price. I really do think, especially when you see that amount of glue sprayed everywhere. But it is £165. So this is not a shoe that you can go on a whim on. If you're looking for a winterized shoe, you're going to think long and hard about buying this at 165 quid. The other interesting thing is this. My non-winterized version, my non-permafrost, are a UK 9.5. I had to get a UK 10 in this. Now that's weird, and mainly it was to do with the width. It just felt a little bit, maybe my socks were a little bit thicker, but I had to go up half a size, people. So I'm a UK 10 in this, which would also equate for the weight being 11.5 ounces, this shoe, because of the slight increase in size versus my old version. But still, I think that's quite an interesting point that this version, maybe it's because of the upper, comes up a little bit smaller. Because the other version had the Hyperknit upper, so I think that's probably what it is. So like I said, we've got Fresh FoamX, which feels great out there. It's soft, but it's not overly soft. It's a really nice blend, and that's one of the things that attracted me to the shoe, because of having to go out and do long runs and do sort of longer miles and more weekly miles. The Fresh FoamX from the 1080 version 12 was really sort of calling me out in the garage, and that's why I went for the More 4. If you've seen the video, I went for the More 4 looking for the Fresh FoamX, but that ended up being a disaster. I'm really pleased that I've got another 1080 version 12 that I can run through the winter. But why am I so pleased? Because it's just effortless cruising. We've done 10-minute miles in the shoe, we've done 7-minute miles in the shoe. I've run them down the rivers, I've run them down the roads, I've run them when it's been absolutely chucking it down, and I've run them at night. And the shoe's done everything that I want. So as a daily trainer for winter marathon training, it's a great addition to have. Now you could say, Fordy, you've been telling us to buy the Pegasus Shield and the New Balance TR. Yes, I have. But those two shoes are more daily trainer. This for me is more of a long run shoe. Does that make any sense? And it doesn't detract from how much I love the Glide Ride 3, guys, but they don't do a Glide Ride 3 with a weatherised bits to it. So this shoe is going to be used on those 16, 18 mile runs that I've got to do down the river or through the Lee Valley when it's freezing cold and it's wet. Do you see what I mean? That's where I need the shoe, and that's why I've put up £165 of my own money to buy it. Because that is the issue with living in the UK. It's wet and it's horrible through the winter. And yes, I get the argument about why do you need to change your shoes in the winter, and you know you could just run. And you know what? That's absolutely right. You don't need to buy a winterised shoe. It's just the fact of I wanted another 1080 version 12 in my arsenal, in my rotation for the next block of marathon training. And the fact that they did the weatherised version was a big box ticked for me. So I think that's probably as much as you need to know in the first instance. We will now run these through the first part of the marathon training block, and we will come back to you and do a performance review. Might even do it while we're out there. We know how much you love us running along and talking about running shoes. But yeah, it also feels like in here, by the way, like it's got a little bit more velvet. It's like the Pegasus that's got that really softer feeling inside to it, which is really nice. It's just I can't tell you enough how much of a nice place to be this is, especially when running home and it's like dark and it's chucking it down and it's a little bit cold, and yeah, it's just a really nice shoe, an easy shoe to run in. And I think that's the biggest compliment I can give the New Balance 1080 version 12, whether you get the weatherised or non-weatherised version. It is just an easy shoe to run in. There's no bells and whistles, there's no stress, there's no drama about the shoe. It's just easy to run in, and that's what I want from a shoe that's going to take some of the legwork in my marathon training. So that's it from me, guys. Let me know whether you've pulled the trigger on the Permafrost. Maybe you haven't even seen that it was out. I'm not sure that New Balance have made a big fanfare about it. I saw it and I thought, oh yeah, because I was looking for the 1080 version 12 and I saw that. I thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. So let me know whether you went for it or not. Okay, right, guys, that's it from me. I'll catch you later.